All right, guys. That was awesome. Sounded good. Hey, Chris, we're going to be missing our electric guitar player next week. Do you think you can fill in and maybe do some of the stuff he was doing earlier in that song? Something similar, maybe?
Yeah, man, totally. I can do it just like that.
All right, cool. Well, do you have like an electric guitar and equipment and stuff? I mean, are you good?
Totally, bro. I'm good.
Okay, then we'll just see you next week then. Cool. Talk to you then. All right, guys, welcome back. We got Chris on electric today. Chris, you said you could do the stuff that we had last week, so we're counting on you to be able to cover that part, all right? You got all the parts down?
Bro, electric guitar, I got this.
Okay, let's see what you got. Let's go, guys. Yeah, so that's not exactly what we were looking for. Did you prepare at all?
Nope.
Okay, but there's probably some great online resources out there to help prepare you to go from acoustic to electric. Maybe you should go check them out. One I know of is academyofworship.org. All right, guys, welcome to the academyofworship.org YouTube channel. My name's Chris. I want to welcome you here, and that was a really fun thing for me to do. I wanted to go in kind of a goofy direction. Mission accomplished, I think. Hopefully. Let me know down below if you liked that kind of stuff. But today, if it's not already obvious, we're talking about what you need to do as an acoustic guitar player to transition, at least at the beginning, to electric guitar in a worship setting, or really any musical setting at all. There's obviously some differences between the instruments, and you can't approach one with the approach of the other. So if you're used to playing acoustic guitar, you can't just directly apply those things to the electric guitar and hope everything turns out great. And vice versa, if you're an electric guitar only player and you have really never played acoustic guitar, there's actually some techniques there as well, but we'll cover that in an entirely different video. As so insanely demoed by me at the beginning of this video, you can see that the acoustic guitar player did the exact same thing he's used to doing on the acoustic guitar on the electric guitar. And while it technically works and he played the right chords, it was just a big mess of guitar. So at the very beginning of this video, you heard what would be a normal sounding song that has the electric guitar sitting where it needs to sit in the mix, with the part it needs to be playing, the acoustic guitar sitting where it needs to sit, and everyone plays happy together. It's when the acoustic guitar and the electric guitar are doing the exact same thing that everything's just a big jumbled mess. So the question is, if you're an acoustic guitar player and you've been put in a position like that where someone says, hey, you've got 6 strings on that acoustic guitar, you can apply that straight to electric guitar, and you don't know where to start, I'm going to give you a place to start. Now, full disclaimer, this video doesn't cover every single thing you're going to need to know on electric guitar, but I do have plenty of other videos you can watch that give you some of that information. So if you want to take this to the next level or keep developing this skill, then please go watch those videos because they'll help you out immensely. So right off the bat, I mentioned things being busy and just dense and sounding jumbled. Well, the first thing you want to do when you're going to electric guitar, even before you get into the electronics or even pedals or effects, amps, all that stuff, is know what to play and when to play it. A good rule of thumb is play less. Even if your hand is in the exact same position as the acoustic guitar player, there's things you can do that will sound different from the acoustic guitar. So right off the bat, one example is this. The song we're doing is in G. I'm going to use the same chords that I was doing at the beginning of the video. It starts on an E minor, goes to a C, down to a G, to a D. And that's like the verse section that we played. So the next section will be an A minor to a B over G or G over B, whichever that one is. So it's a G major with just the third in the root, the B, up to a C, to a D. The acoustic guitar player is just playing big block chords and strumming away. One thing you can do as an electric guitar player is, like I said, play less. So what you want to do is put your hand in the G position. Everyone's familiar with the Chris Tomlin chords, and that's where you basically never move these bottom 2 fingers when you're playing in the G position. So your G is like this, your C is like this, your D is like this, your E minor is like this, even your A is basically with a G up high up here on your pinky. So in that vein, we're going to use those top 2 strings to start. So if you have a G here, a C here, E minor here, D here, and these two fingers right here just never move, use those to start. So if someone's playing a G, your job is to play the high parts of that G. So just never move these fingers and go. You can add some flavor by moving this down to here. So you just lift up your pinky and put your middle finger down on that first string on the second fret. So you've got. So right away you've got something you can play over a big strumming chord. So you'll notice that I'm not strumming it or playing both notes together. I'm actually playing them separately in an arpeggio. It's just nice and easy. And then when they change chords, you just stay right there. It's super simple. So if they go to a C, you're not moving your fingers. It's just the root's changing, the C. So. And then when it goes to the E minor, then it goes to the D. Any of the chords, the 1, the 4, the 5, the minor 6, in this case it would be the G, the C, the D, and the E minor, whatever order they're in, you just play those high notes. And I guarantee you it's going to separate things out enough to stand enough on its own to cover a sonic space that needs to be covered by electric guitar. You'll notice I have some delay on the guitar. That's something you want to add sparingly. You don't want to get too crazy with it, especially when you first start out on electric guitar. And you'll notice that I have a little bit of dirt, a little bit of grit, distortion, or overdrive on my guitar. That's also something you don't want to overdo. We have videos on both of those things on the channel. So please go check out ones about overdrive, stacking overdrive, go look at the ones about delay, and you can check out what those videos have to say about that. But that's a good place to start. Now, that's in the key of G. So what happens when we're in a different key? Well, it's really simple. To use the exact same hand position, you just want to pretend like you're playing a G in whatever key you're in. So for instance, if it's an A, just pretend you're playing a G up here and base everything off of your middle finger here. That's an A on the low E string. So if you make the same chord shape of a G, those two fingers up here are the exact same thing. So if we're in A, we just play those high notes. And the same goes for any other key. So even if you're in E major and you don't want to play big open strings, you just go up here to the 12th fret, do the exact same finger position, so you're playing that G chord right here, but since you're basing it off of this low note, that's an E on the 12th fret, and then you just play the two high ones on the 12th fret. That pattern is something that you could play over the chorus because it's a little busier. It's got a note more often when you're playing it. In places like a verse where you want to kind of pull back and let it breathe a little bit, just play less. You can use the exact same notes if you're just totally lost on what to do, but you're trying to fill in a position. You're not giving a master class on electric guitar. You're just trying to fill a role. So on a verse, you could do something like this in the key of G, like back where we were. That's all you need to do, because remember, there's other instruments doing other things. There's keyboards and pads, maybe even a piano, there's an acoustic guitar, there's a bass, there's drums. Everyone's subdividing the beat. It's busy. There's a lot going on. So your job is to fill in a sonic space that no one else is filling in. Now, another trick you can do is just take that up an entire octave. So let's say we're still in the key of G, and let's say we don't want to occupy the same part of the neck as the acoustic guitar player. He's already down here just strumming away on a G. And we want to move away from that. We don't want to occupy even that high end of the G. So all you do is you move it up one octave, which means 12 frets. So in this case, all of the frets, as you well know, I'm sure, mirror each other after the 12th fret. So this dot right here is the same after the 12th fret as this dot right here. So all you do is you just do that exact same shape, but way up higher. Now you may have to change your finger position or something like that because it's a little bit higher on the smaller frets, but you get this. That covers a really cool sonic space because you're up high, it sticks out. That's all you got to worry about is putting it in the right place in the mix. So those are some places to start. Keep it simple, and play the high part of the chord. So we haven't gotten complex. You didn't have to learn any new chords. You're simply playing less of the chords you already know, and you learned where to play it on the neck. So that's a really simple place to start. If you want to take it to the next steps, listen to the actual song if you're learning a song that has an electric guitar part. There's YouTube channels out there that teach you this exact part. In fact, some of the artists have their own teaching videos where they'll show you exactly what they played. That'd be a tool. Just go look it up and see if it's something you can do. Some of the parts are more complex, and if you're an acoustic guitar player not used to moving around the neck a lot, that can be a lot. So what I'm showing you today is a place to start where you can fill a role and not have to worry about playing the exact part of the song. A couple other things to note. When you're playing acoustic guitar, a lot of times people like to use a thin pick. I know I do. It's really thin when I play acoustic because I like the way it sounds on the strings. It has that slap feel and it sounds really acoustic. But on electric guitar, you want to use harder picks, generally speaking. You don't have to, but when you're picking individual notes, a harder pick actually helps with that because you're not slipping around on the strings and missing strings and things like that. So you may want to change up your pick if you're playing electric guitar. Now, one thing you can do as an electric guitar player is play big chords. There's a time and a place for that. Let's say we get to the chorus and we just need to take it to the next level. What you can do is double up on the electric guitar what the acoustic guitar player is doing. But the better choice is to play the same chords but up higher on the neck so that they're playing low, you're playing medium or high. So for instance, if you start learning the guitar neck and you start learning, say, the caged system, which we'll talk about in another video, you can move it around. So in G, we have this down below. And up high, you can play a D shape right here. And that gives you another place to go. So if you know as an acoustic guitar player where to put a capo, but know that this D in the key of G is a G, then you already know all the chord shapes you need to know to move that around. So for instance, you've got your G like I just showed you. You've got your D, which is an A shape right here. To get your 4 chord, or the C, you just move it down 2 frets. And when you're playing an E minor, you should already know that a G major and an E minor are basically the same chord with a different root note. But because the bass is covering that, even the acoustic guitar and the keyboards are all covering those root notes, you can just play that D shape, which is a G. And you have an E minor. If you just need a place to play, base that off of where you'd put your capo to move your nut around. So in this case, you'd put your capo on the 5th fret and play a D shape to get a G major chord, and everything would be based off of that. So you can use that knowledge as an acoustic guitar player if you've got it rattling around up there to help you move around the neck and get a little bit different voicings out of it and get out of the way of the acoustic guitar player. But for now, if you're not used to that, just do what I showed you. Play those really simple patterns based on the actual fretted chord. Now there's a lot more I want to show you, but my intention in this video was just to set you loose if you've been asked to play electric guitar, or where do I start on electric guitar when I've never really touched one before. These are some very simple things, so check them out. You don't have to do it in a band necessarily. If you have an electric guitar, maybe an amp, even if you have a computer where you can plug in and use like an amp sim, do that and play along with some of your favorite worship songs or favorite music and see how it fits in. You'd be amazed at how much that adds, doing those simple things I just showed you, to a song that would otherwise not have them. It really fills it in and helps your worship leader or the bandmates you're playing with have that extra texture they need. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd ask that if you liked this video to give it a thumbs up, and please hit that subscribe button. That really helps me out and helps the channel grow and reach more people. Please share the video with friends or colleagues that you have that may benefit from this type of teaching. And if you have any questions, or if I didn't cover something that you want to see, or if you have an idea of something I can cover, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. But until next time, go flip some switches, twist the knobs, and see what stuff does. God bless. I'll see you in the next one.